We are live. Welcome to MCU Mondays here on Geek News Now. My name is David. I am your host of MCU Mondays. We're talking about MCU all the time, plus whatever other rabbits we chase. Me, as always, is Debbie. How are you, Debbie?
I'm good.
Please.
Ready to chase those rabbits wherever they lead.
I was gonna say you can't say that we don't chase rabbits because, by God, we do.
Yeah, we go off the rails quite a bit. So,
but that's
nothing new.
No, that's okay. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye, and we haven't lost an eye yet, so we're okay. So tonight we've got Secret Invasion started on last Wednesday. We got just 5 minutes shy of a whole hour of Marvel goodness. I thought it was good. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's like Andor to me, to where it's a step away from the super beings. Mm-hmm. They're mentioned there, but they're not like the main focus and drive. But anyway, we'll get into that. Let's do the theme song first. We'll get that out of the way. This was a theme song that was done by Chris, the old host, and it's still his, but if it looks wonky, I apologize. That's my poor editing skills. But here we go. Let's try the theme song. Just this one time. Oh,
still my favorite part.
that gives me feels. It is. That is the greatest part of that. So thank you once again, Chris, for letting us to continue using the opening theme song. One of these days I will learn how to do video editing, and we'll keep the song, but put in different pictures and whatnot. And again, I'll do the same thing on Thursday night. One of these days I'll learn video editing, and it'll be great. So we'll go from there. So tonight, Secret Invasion kicked off. If you didn't get a chance to go see the the invasionhasbegun.com, which we didn't give you the password or anything, so we kind of let you kind of figure that password out on your own. And if you've already seen it, you don't need to go there now, because, or if you haven't seen it but you saw Secret Invasion, you don't need to go there now, because let's face it, it's over with. That was basically the first 5 minutes of the show, and of course it was really good. We saw Martin Freeman again and his character, and 2 minutes into that 5 minutes, I was like, oh, that's not him. That's a Skrull. I even told Luke, I said, watch, he's a Skrull. And then of course he died, and Luke was like, oh no, they killed him. And I was like, no, he's a Skrull. Trust me.
What was the giveaway?
What was the giveaway? It was so the giveaway to me was when he approached, well, not when he approached, but when he was with the conspiracy guy, he was very much like, you don't know what you're talking about. This is crazy talk. Nothing's really happening. Bunch of different groups. He just didn't believe any of the conspiracy stuff. So when he was coming up to the guy, I mean, he was like looking around corners and checking behind him and doing all this stuff like he was being watched or tailed. And if he didn't believe any of this stuff, he would have no reason to do that other than... And then the thing, he looked at it and goes, well, I tell you what, let me take this to Fury. And it was very nonchalant about it. And I was like, oh, he's trying to get something. I like to read people sometimes, and that was a good read. So
I didn't catch on until he was being chased, and I was like, there is no way Agent Ross is running up them stairs that fast. No way.
Yeah, yeah.
Leaping across buildings, and
Although when he jumped the last time, when he made the last. By the way, we're talking spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, we're well past the 72-hour limit set by most Facebook pages, so we're talking spoilers, and we're going to spoil everything for you. But the last jump he made before he actually fell, that was just hilarious, because it wasn't like, I mean, it was just, he jumped, he missed it, and goes thump, thump, down. And I was like, there wasn't anything special about it. It wasn't like, oh, he smashed into something or something broke and fell on him. Nothing. It was just a boom, boom, boom. It was just that. It's awesome. There's in fact, it reminded me a lot of, there's a movie out there with, it's Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg called The Other Guys. It's a buddy cop movie. And basically the police force has these are the two hero cop kind of thing. They always pull off these, like you would see in a cop movie, all these spectacular arrests and things like that. And one of them is The Rock, and one of them is actually Sam Jackson. And at the beginning of the movie, they're chasing these bad guys, and the bad guys, they ended up on the top of a building, and the bad guys were on the ground, and like they had doubled back and gone down the stairs, and they look at each other and they go, "It's time to do the hero jump." And they run off the edge, and they're like falling, yeah. And the song is playing, "You can be my hero, baby." And then it just goes, poof, and they thud. They hit the ground and they died. I was like, nice realism. I love it. It's just whoop. So again, it reminded me, I don't know why I find people falling off a building so funny, but it was amusing to me. So Fury comes back. He's that scene looked like it was ripped direct from an X-Files episode, with the field in the forest in the middle of nothing, and then all of a sudden a bright light. And it looked more like it almost looked like it was an elevator or a transport rather than a beaming technology, because if you looked at the back, there were seats and
chairs, yeah.
So I don't know, maybe Saber has some kind of, maybe they beam a pod down or send a pod down. I don't know. We did get the mention of Saber, and that was very cool. They mentioned it several times, right?
A couple times, yeah.
A couple times. So S.H.I.E.L.D. has fallen, so now we have the Saber. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Debbie, because you would probably know better than me, that S.H.I.E.L.D. was there to protect the Earth, and Saber was designed to basically attack before the attack happens. So not
it's defensive.
It's an offensive platform versus a defensive platform. Yes, I guess is what the word I'm looking for. So,
I thought it was defensive.
Oh, I don't know. I've
problem is the invasion's already here, so
yeah.
They've already screwed it up.
So that's why Fury comes down. So he comes down because of the invasion. And we can go ahead and talk about it because they delve into this a little further into the episode. Fury seems to be dealing with some PTSD about the blip, because they said he went up to the space station after the blip and he hasn't been back down since, which makes sense. I mean, I honestly think he wasn't there in Age of Ultron, but that's just me, and that's the theory I'm buying into. Because he said in Captain Marvel, she said, "Tell me something nobody else knows about you," and he says, "I like to cut my bread diagonally. I can't do it if it's." We are good, avocado. Sorry, I said your name wrong there. We are very good. It is hot here. We need to go swimming as well. I don't know. Is it hot there?
It's raining.
Oh no, it's in the low hundreds here. So no big deal. I've got some friends in Arizona, and they were clocking in at 117 this afternoon. So,
Mm.
but that's a dry heat. That's different. That's a different kind of heat from here. Anyway, so we find that Fury has had some PTSD. Like I said, the diagonal bread cutting. I think that was that Talos, not Thalos, not Thanos, Talos. I thought that was him. I'm still buying into that theory, and I'm hoping they kind of explain that later on. But Hill is the one that meets Fury there, and they go and see Talos. Now Talos is the same Skrull that they had in that we met in Captain Marvel, right? Correct. And it's known that his wife has died and his child has run off, and they don't know where she is. And that's about it. They go there, and this struck me as odd. They go into the history of what's going on. We've got the invasion starting. We've got we got everybody taken over, and there's hundreds of thousands of them. And he says, "Well, where are they?" And they say, "We don't know. They live around an abandoned, or the radiation doesn't bother them, so they live somewhere with a high radiation. And there's all these different abandoned nuclear power plants all across Russia." And I was sitting there thinking, which one? Where is he? We don't know where he is. We don't know which one he's at. And I was like, send the stupid spy satellites over there, fly over each one of the things, and when you see a big encampment of people hovering around the dadgum nuclear power plant, that's probably it. You might want to send your birds there, because that's probably where they are.
Yeah, but it could give false readings. I don't know how radar works with satellite or anything, if it interferes.
Just get on Google Earth. Get on Google Earth and go just look at it. Oh, look, hey,
yeah.
there's a bunch
Google
of green guys
drives by there frequently.
They got a bunch of green guys down there. We ought to go look at that one. If it's not the Skrulls, then it's probably just a bunch of highly irradiated people, and I don't know, whatever. So yeah, just fly your dumb satellites over there and go find them. It's not that hard. Anyway.
Oh, hello.
Something just beeped. So anywho, he goes. They're talking about the bomb, and they look at the plans that the conspiracy guy had, and one of the thing that he said was, this is going to be something that how did he put it?
Eradicates.
Well, not eradicates. He said something along the lines of, this will be the one that starts the fire, or the tinderbox. This one's the one that's really going to rattle everybody, basically, is what it boiled down to. This is the one that's going to start the war. And I'm looking at it at the end, by the way, spoilers again, at the end when the bombs go off, I'm like, okay, so you blew up 2 bombs in a crowded park. How is that going to set the humans off against each other? I don't know. I don't get that. Oh, well, we can't let them bomb Russia because we got a Cold War going on. It's like, it didn't make any sense to me.
Well, yeah, we already said spoiler alert.
We got it. We're good.
had almost a week to watch it.
I know he's already seen it, so we're good. He's fine. He's fine.
But yeah, at the beginning with the conspiracy dude, I mean, he was saying, Russia attacks Cuba, Cuba attacks, this place, and it's just like a rolling theme, but it's all the Skrulls, but nobody knows, So I think, yeah, it was a bomb in Russia. Well, I don't know what that stuff was. Some kind of.
He said a dirty bomb, and to me, dirty
but
bomb.
It looked like it was all powdery, and of course, maybe it's something that spreads some kind of virus.
That may be true. That may be true.
But they'll find a way to blame it on the Americans, and therefore the war starts.
Oh,
there's a little cutie.
Hey, Daddy.
What?
I ate all my dinner.
Good. Go, come give me a hug and go night night, okay?
And I just swim all the way.
I saw your videos. Mommy sent me videos. Night night, I love you. Apologize for my dad break. Had to take a dad break there. So anyway, we've got the I forgot where I was.
You're talking about the dirty bomb.
The dirty bomb. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, virus or space spores or some, I don't know. Maybe they'll hash that out in the next episode. But stepping back again, we'll go back again. Nick decides, yes, the Talos says when this happens, it's going to be the eradication of your species, basically. And I mean, you can take that with a grain of salt, saying, okay, this is just going to be the one thing that tells all of their operatives, okay, this has happened, now start killing humans, kind of thing, or getting rid of humans, kind of thing. So, anyway, Nick says, I'm going to go for a walk. And, oh, yeah, you go walking around Moscow at night. That won't draw any attention. Humor in this one, too. There's been some humor. And he goes and he sees Sylvia. Who is this, and why should we know who she is? Do you have any clue? She hasn't been in any other movies or TV shows, I don't think, that I've seen.
Not that I know of. I other than she's some kind of contact with Fury. I don't know.
We're gonna get to that. I figured that. I watched it again tonight before we got on, so I got it. I got it figured. Don't worry, it makes sense. I'll make it make sense. Yeah, he sees the girl with the rainbow ball before Sylvia's thugs attack. Yeah, and of course there's pleasantries exchanged, and it's almost one of those. We're enemies, but we have respect for each other, so we're going to be cordial to each other rather than fight. We're just gonna keep it cool, which is fine. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Or what was it Tony said? Keep your friends close and your enemies close, and then that way whoever comes out on top, at least you're in good with.
Well, plus it was a way for Nick to turn on his little spy cam, which I'm not sure how he probably planted that there eons ago.
No. So if you watch, when he goes and looks at the clocks, and when he does, he touches that owl thing, and that's when he implanted the device. But he used Luke was used to do magic, close-up magic and card tricks and stuff like that. And one of the things that I pulled out of that was, watch this hand over here, because I don't want you to see what this hand over here is doing. And this hand over here is where the trick is happening, but you're paying attention over here, so you can't see the trick happening until it happens, and then you're all impressed and everything. Well, he did that. He touched that owl, and then immediately he went away from there, and he went to I guess it was like a computer terminal, or he started walking around the room and touching things and feeling things out, and it was like
he went to put a record on the record player.
Yeah, exactly. So it was one of those things where I'm going to draw attention from what I just did by doing something over here that's making you pay attention to me over here while you don't see what I just did over there. And it was just a real quick brush of that owl. But yeah, that's how he did it. That's where he implanted it. And again, he even said that to her. He said, I just wanted to come and see you, because he was looking for I'm going to say this, Kazakhstan.
Yeah, don't ask me to pronounce it. What was stolen from?
The weapons that were stolen from the weapons cache there. And she's told him, I don't know anything about it, but we see from the camera that, yes, she did know something about it, and they get the name of the bomb maker. Now, in the meantime, we've got a new recruit to the Skrulls, and he shows up at the gate, and they say, what do you want? And, I just want to live in my own skin. And we find out a little bit about these resistance, and I'm really hoping that we don't. I mean, it was killing me watching this, because it was like one of those we need to feel like Disney's been doing with a lot of their movies. You had Maleficent and Cruella and a few others where it was like, we need to feel bad for the bad guys. They're not really bad. They were just kind of made that way, and because of the things that they did. But this one, it's like, okay, they show up, and okay, we're in the midst of these freedom fighters, but guess what else is here? We've got their wives and their kids are out playing soccer and spinning around in the wagons and go-karts and stuff, and they're just living their lives. They don't care about the thing. They're just living the way that they need to live. And I'm sitting here looking at this going, please don't turn into one of these, oh my gosh, we got to feel bad for the bad guys, because really what he's doing is something noble, but not. It's like the Thanos argument. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but you killed billions of people.
I can see why they're pissed off. I mean, Nick and Carol had promised to.
It's 30 years.
Find him a home, and yeah, it's been 30 years. I mean, it's like, what the hell you been doing? Well, we know what Nick was doing, and I assume Carol. Well,
here's the thing.
We'll find out in November what Carol's been up to. So
yeah.
But still 30 years.
30 years, though, and I look at it and go, you know what? It's a darn big galaxy. It's a darn big universe. And it's going to take a little time. Even if it takes 100 years, it's still going to take a little time. It's not one of these, hey, Mars is uninhabited, go live there. It's just like, yeah, we'll be neighbors and we can wave at each other and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not going to be like that. But whatever. They're just impatient is what it is. It all boils down to patience.
My patience would have been gone after 30 years.
Okay, so Debbie has officially joined the freedom fighters, or the bad guys, basically. We also run into Kira from Star Wars. Emilia Clarke. We had to look that up because I was like, that kind of looks like her, but she's like really, really skinny right now. She's a lot skinnier than she was in Solo. She lost a lot of weight in her face. She just seemed a little different. Maybe it was just me then. She just looked, which, I mean, and again, it makes sense too, because if they're living off of rations or whatever, and they're having to sort their food because there's a lot more refugees and everything coming in, that makes sense that she wouldn't be a very, very big person. But well, she's not really a person either. So we find out that Kira is actually what's her name? It's Talos's daughter.
Gaia,
Guy.
Gaiath, Gaiath, Gaia, G-I apostrophe A-T-H,
Hang on, I'll find it.
Gaia.
Anyway, let's see. G apostrophe IAH Gaia.
Gaia, that's what it is. Yeah.
Gaia. So
I
there
don't
we
know
go.
why there was a TH there.
So Gaia, which I think we saw her in Captain Marvel, if I'm not mistaken, because wasn't she the
As
little
a
girl?
Skrull.
Yeah, as a Skrull, but she was, and I don't mean we saw Amelia Clark. Let me clarify that. We saw that character, not the.
She was friends with
Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, as a child. So
yeah. So
no, she's not.
They ought to bring Monica Rambeau in. Yeah.
She's not supposed to be Quake.
Yeah, you know what? Luke said the same thing. He said, "Oh, that's probably Quake." And I was like, "Who's Quake? Oh, Quake's supposed to be in this." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, yep, there he is, Quake." Well, thought she was supposed to be Quake. So anyway, she does the drop for the money, gets the dirty bomb. Hill finds her and catches up with her. There's a one of those Jason Bourne kind of chases to where it's like they're both walking and she's following at a distance and the other one knows that she's there and she's like, I'm going to take some turns and cut some corners to see if I lose her. And I thought she was supposed to be Quake or something like that. I didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So there you go.
Well, there was a rumor, and I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but the actress, and I can't remember her name right off the top of my head, who originally played Quake in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series, there was rumors that she was going to be in this, that they were going to bring her back. But it was going to be that actress who played her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I thought it was. I thought that they had. I thought that they had disavowed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as not canon. Are they still leaning on that as canon? I thought that they had said no. It's never mind. It's not.
It was, and then it wasn't, and
I mean, I still haven't even seen all of it. I saw like the first season and a half, I think.
I really like that series.
And when they were doing so well tying into the rest of the series,
referenced the movie several times, events that had happened. So
well, one of the events, I think it was in the second season, was like they were cleaning up London after Thor: The Dark World happened. They were cleaning up Thor's mess, basically. I think that was in the second season. Maybe that was in the first season. I don't remember. They were, anyway. So maybe I need to sit down and watch that. Oh, darn. So anyway, turns out that it is Talos's daughter. Talos has informs her that her mother is dead. And mother died. We don't know how she died. Was it ever mentioned how she died? Other than
what he says, why don't you ask who you work for?
So
to kind of, or insinuating that,
maybe she was a victim of one of the terrorist attacks that conspiracy guy was talking about. Right at the first of the show. That's kind of what I was leaning towards, and I'm sure that's one of those things that'll probably all be hashed out by the end of this. That'll be a determining factor kind of thing. So she leaves and she cries. He can't shoot his daughter. And she comes to him later on and says there's going to be 3 bombs and they're all going to go off and
she'll mark them.
she'll mark them. So, but then of course when they get to the marked bags in the park or whatever, they're not none of the bags have the bombs in them. The bombs had already been planted, apparently. So,
Diversion.
and yes. So I'm wondering if she was like really, oh, I'm talking to my dad, or if she thought she was talking. Can a Skrull imitate a Skrull? Was she talking not to her dad, but to another Skrull that just happened to look like her dad? And I mean, and they said, okay, well, she's going to do this, so we need to change the plan up, which I guess that would make sense because then they wouldn't even know what to look for because he wouldn't have it. But
right.
Or did she say, hey, I just told him the plan, so we need to do something different to throw it off? So I don't know. And that leads us to the girl with the rainbow ball. We saw the girl with the rainbow ball at the first, and this is, if you had watched the episode, you would know that the girl with the rainbow ball, he sees her at the park, and he starts following her. And of course, she keeps looking back, saying, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Looking back and making sure he's following her, basically. So, and she's not being subtle about it at all. And then at some point he ducks behind a stand of some kind, and he comes back out, and it's the old guy that he bought the vodka for at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Which it was like, so the guy at the bar was a Skrull too. And then he ducks again. Did he turn into anybody else, or was that it?
I was thinking there was a couple changes in there.
There was 2 or 3. He changed 2 or 3 times, and then all of a sudden, hey, he's Gravik. And so the girl with the rainbow ball was Gravik. He's been keeping an eye on. My theory is that he knows that Fury is down from Saber. He's watching Fury and making sure that he knows exactly what he needs to know, so that their plan, he can be 2 steps ahead of Fury. So, girl with the rainbow ball. There you go.
Yeah, because I mean, it was mentioned at least twice, maybe 3 times, to Nick that he hasn't been the same since the snap. And then Maria makes a comment there in the bar saying, well, she asked him a question. He said, I haven't decided. And she goes, that's what I'm worried. Basically, that's why I'm worried about, because normally you're 3 steps ahead.
Right.
So now it's like, now the roles are reversed. Somebody is 3 steps ahead of him. And, he's got to, of course, eventually he's going to say, this is my fight, nobody else's fight. So.
But see, he and I don't know if he just did this when he went to Sylvia. She said the real Nick Fury would have seen my guys coming
a mile away,
and he was like, I just wanted to talk to you. That's that, and that was the only way I knew how to do that. So I'm wondering if he is 3 steps ahead, and one of those steps is, I want everybody to think I'm 3 steps behind, so that they don't realize that I'm 3 steps ahead. I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
Well,
That's my theory.
when he got beamed down, he made, I thought then he kind of made a show of limping.
Of the limping, yeah.
The limp, because even Gravik made that comic, he's limping, maybe no, it was one of the other guys was telling Gravik, he's limping, and
he's old,
can't see out of his one eye, and blah 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 blah. So I don't know if it's all a show. And
I'm going with the show, and we'll get a good Sam Jackson moment to where it's like
they haven't been able to keep track of what's going on from Saber.
Oh yeah, I'm
You
sure he
know.
knows exactly what's going on.
So, well, at least
And
that's my thought. I could be totally
and
wrong because I've
and
been wrong before.
and as far as even Maria not knowing it, at this point, you don't know if Maria is Maria. I mean, that could have been a scroll, and he didn't want to give up to the scroll because he even said, "I can't. It's hard. I can't tell." Was it? I can't tell a human from a scroll, but I can tell when a human is lying.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't tell what a human, what's human and what's scroll. So he's got to play everything really close to his chest just to maintain that 3 steps ahead. So anyway, he sees Gravik. He's trying to get a shot. A lot of people there. It was a Unity Day. Now I'm wondering if that has something to do with. They kept calling it the Deadgum Blip, and I really hate that term. I really do.
Well, it's the snap. They all died.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
blip
yeah.
is when everybody came back. I guess to kind of differentiate. Oh my god. To
I
tell
got
the
you.
difference.
Yeah, but I don't know. So I guess my thought is that Unity Day has something to do with that's probably the day that everybody blipped back in. That's the day that Hulk snapped and everybody came back. So that's my thoughts. Possibly, maybe, and maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it would shake everybody to the core because it's Unity Day and everybody's back and we're all happy and somebody disrupts that happiness. Maybe.
Who knows?
So anyway, he can't get a shot off. The guy turns around and just clicks a button and bombs start going off and people start scattering and he still chases the guy. And again, spoilers. Hill takes a bullet because she thought that the scroll was Fury. And I hated to see that. And they bring people back in comic books all the time. Everybody gets to come back to life once or twice.
Well, I mean, Nick even died in Civil War or Winter Soldier. I forget which one.
Winter Soldier, yeah.
Everybody thought he died, but I don't know. There's always that chance. I mean, a lot of people were really ticked off about that, and I was like, I mean, I like her, but I'm like, okay, she's been in the movies here and there. It's not like she's been a whole major character, so I didn't understand.
She is Nick Fury's right hand man. She is one.
But still, she's been in what 10 minutes in each movie,
maybe. She was pretty prominent in the first Avengers movie. She was pretty.
I don't know. I was just like shocked that people were really ticked off. So I was just like, okay.
Don't the Skrulls kind of lower the stakes? In what way? I'm not really sure how to answer that one. If you're talking about like in the comic books versus the, you've lost me. I need to read the comics. That's really what it boils down to.
The show will have nothing to do with the comics.
I need to read I still would like to read the Secret Invasion line, but so anyway, they brought Coulson back too. I mean, if we're still counting,
yeah, kind of, sort of.
If someone dies, they could just be a Skrull. Yeah, yeah.
And that leads me to my question. When Amelia Clark, takes that one guy in and leaves, they're going to show him a room or his room or whatever, and then she walks into another room, and they've got the line of people that are in those things.
stasis. What?
Are they stasis?
Stasis fields. Yeah.
So what happens when the person that they took over, well, I guess they can just replace it with another recruit, right?
What happens when the person that they take over dies?
Well, if the Skrull dies, does the person in
Oh,
the stasis die, or do they just keep them there and then big whoop if another Skrull dies, because we'll just bring somebody else in, they'll take over the
that's.
form and get his memories.
Now, I was going to say that's interesting that you say that, because let's say you've got Joe Skrull over here, and he assumes the form of somebody. He steals their memories. He doesn't steal. He has their memories so that he can, and I'm sure that's part of the camouflage to where we still know what we're talking about, even though I'm not really this person. But let's say he lives for like 4 or 5 years and he does all this stuff, and then he gets killed in action, or he's hit by a bus or something like that, and then they get another guy that they're like, okay, well, we're going to replace you with him, and we'll put him in the stasis field, and say take his memories. You just take his shell and his memories, but he's missing all of that 5 years. So do they just kill the human in the stasis field and get somebody else and just basically write it off that guy died?
Yeah, I don't know, because that brings me to question number 2.
Uh-oh.
Did they do that same procedure to Agent Ross, or is he still on the run? Because he was in Wakanda forever.
Oh.
And he was basically on the run. So it's like, is he still on the run, or was he captured by the Skrulls? And because the second time around, I kind of looked to see if maybe I could see him in one of those stations, but I didn't. So
That's an interesting thought. Or is that just one of those ones? Well, we know this guy exists, and we know that Ross exists. We know what he looks like, and we don't really need any memories to go get the information from Crazy Conspiracy Guy. We just need to know. We just need to look like him.
So, because when that particular Skrull died, I was like, does that mean that Ross is actually dead, or
did they kill Ross?
Yeah, I was like, I kind of like him.
I hope not.
So that'll be interesting to see if he's actually still on the run. Maybe he went back to Wakanda. Who knows? Or he's in
maybe he never left Wakanda.
I don't
know. That's my thought. So I was looking, and I don't know if I had mentioned this last week or last week when we talked about what we expect, but like I'm looking at the IMDb page, and Sam Jackson as Nick Fury is listed in 6 episodes. Olivia Colman, who is Sonya Fallsworth, is in 6 episodes, and there's a bunch of them that are in 6 episodes. But then you get down to Kobe Smulders. Maria Hill is only in 4 episodes. So yes, she died, but I'm thinking we can expect to see her in 3 more episodes.
Oh. As Skrull.
I don't know, maybe. But Martin Freeman and Don Cheadle, which Rhodey was in this one as well, is also listed. They're just listed as 1 episode. So my guess would be that we've probably seen the last of them in this series.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they have Colby as 3 episodes. You would think.
I mean, maybe a flop,
just to kind of
throw people off.
Yeah. Well, she died in the first episode. Really, that's it.
That's it. We're not going to see her again, and then all of a sudden she shows back up. Ooh,
yeah.
What a twist! Well, I was a Skrull all the time. Whatever. Whatever. Or maybe she was. Okay, I gotta.
Skrull?
Yes, because they mentioned when
We
they
didn't see her change though.
huh? But that's the thing. That's the thing is when they were indoctrinating that one guy and they put the guy in the stasis field and they said take his shell and his. When she was talking to him about being a warrior, she said something about we latch so close to our shells that it's hard for anyone to determine that we're Skrulls unless we show ourselves. Nobody knows that we're a Skrull. You know, it was
Unless
like we
they die, because we've seen
well
two of them die. That
we've
that-
seen two of them die, but maybe the Skrull that was imitating Maria Hill was so ingrained in her character that she wasn't going to change when she died. And maybe she was there to find out exactly how far ahead Fury was thinking.
Yeah, that's the one thing with this show is
You never know. You don't know.
we don't know what's going on. I mean, theories galore, which I like a good theory. So
My guess would be is that there's going to be a bazillion theories throughout the next 5 episodes.
none of them are right.
And none of them are right. And then on the 6th episode, they're going to say, okay, here's how everything worked. And you're going to be like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense. Of course. Why would it was like the first time I watched The Fugitive with your husband there, Harrison Ford. The whole thing was just confusing. But when they got to the end and they're spelling everything out how it happens, it's like, I got to go back and rewatch this movie because I don't remember seeing it. I got to go back and do it again. Same thing with the first Mission Impossible movie. It was like, I didn't even catch that the first time around. I got to go watch it again and figure it out. So maybe that's what we're dealing with here. You're going to have to go watch it again.
Yeah, because I think we'll be, if they wrote this series well, which I hope they did, espionage, spy. I mean, I'm hoping this will be the Andor of the Marvel Universe because that show was very well written. I thought so. Some people thought it was long and boring, blah, 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 blah. There was no pew, pew, pew every episode, but
It was
I'm
Star
hoping,
Wars for adults is what it was.
I'm hoping this will be, gritty. You're not going to be able to figure it out. And, we'll just, by the end of the series, we'll just be left with our mouth gaping open.
And maybe they'll set up some kind of questions that'll be answered in the Marvels. I mean,
it could lead into Marvel or Loki. Loki's coming next, right?
Loki starts in
July? August?
No, I was just looking at this one because maybe it is August. I don't.
Originally, I thought it was supposed to be July, but I don't know.
Yeah. It was. I was actually looking at it because I was watching something and I saw a preview for it. Hey, don't forget Loki's coming out. Or maybe I was reading something. October 6th.
Jesus, are you?
Sorry.
Why is this so long?
October 6th. You know what? I've got a theory on that one too. Because when Phase 4 started, we had WandaVision, we had
Loki.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then we had Loki, then we had Multiverse of Madness and a new Spider-Man, and then we had Hawkeye, and I mean there was a bunch of stuff. And I mean it was like they just flooded everything, and it was like a What If was in there, the first season of What If, and it was just like, oh my gosh. I think it caused they've been talking about it a little bit, superhero fatigue. I know there have been people online talking about it to where they're just getting tired of watching superhero movies, and Yeah, maybe a little bit, but also I'm thinking right now they've pulled the reins back after She-Hulk, and they said, okay, we're gonna go for quality over quantity at this point. We want something.
Well, that's fine, but these shows have been shot and done for a while now, so it's like it's done.
Yeah.
And I understand them kind of spreading it out, but it's just like, let's see, this is 6 episodes, so and it's only June. I guess it would take us
Is
a few
there
weeks into July.
I was gonna say, is there a movie coming out in July? I don't recall.
Let's see, we've had
We will have What If will post at some point in 2023 as well. Season 2 of What If.
oh, I thought they postponed that one.
I haven't heard anything. IMDb is still showing it as 2023.
I have trouble keeping track anymore because they keep switching things around and we're moving this around, we're doing this,
And that has to, I'm sure that has to do with the writer's strike, and because I think thought I read somewhere that one of the other guilds
Raven is coming out, although that's a
Oh.
Sony Marvel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I don't care. I want to see it. I don't care. That's got Quicksilver. we were actually talking. Luke said that guy doesn't even have a Russian accent. He needs a Russian accent. And I was like, oh, he played Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. He can do a Russian accent if he really, really wanted to.
Now, see, that comes out in October,
Okay.
same time as Loki. So it's like, why? Chewie, quit it.
Wow.
She's scratching at something. I don't know what she's like. All I can hear is squeak, 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 squeak.
John Biscardi's on. How are you, John? Superhero fatigue for the normies. I have no interest in The Flash or Secret Invasion. You know what? I have no interest for The Flash either. Luke has seen Across the Spider-Verse, which I still have not seen, or Kraven. I want to see Kraven. And Secret Invasion, I've been looking
I have no idea what it's about. I don't know the character. Well, I don't read the comics, so unless
go watch the old Spider-Man cartoon, the 95 one, 90. Well, I'll say 95, the early to mid 90s one. He's in a few episodes.
I mean, I know he's a Spider-Man villain. That's about all I know. Oh, for the love of God.
Oh, for the love of Pete.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Let's see, Kraven.
Oh, you're
Marvels is in November. Kraven is October. We just had the Spider-Verse.
Loki's going to be in October.
We've already had Quantumania. We've had Guardians. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that's supposed to come out.
Oh, what about Echo? Is Echo coming out this year or is that next year? Did they push that one back?
I don't remember.
Oh, maybe I did have. Hang on a minute. I think I've got an updated list. I may have an updated list. Unless I close the unless I close the web page that I had.
It says Echo is in November, the last part of November.
Okay.
I forgot to look when this article was written, so this might be changed.
Take it with a grain of salt, people.
Yeah,
Nothing is official yet.
97 was supposed to be fall of 23.
I think that one.
I haven't heard anything about that.
I think that one's still on track.
Is it?
I think.
What If was supposed to be for early 2023, but it's been delayed. Ironheart's been delayed, and Agatha's been delayed.
Agatha, I could. Whatever. I'm hit or miss on that one. All it says for the X-Men is airs in 2023.
I thought that was supposed to be 24 or 25. Did you say X-Men?
X-Men 97, yeah. The cartoon.
I was thinking Fantastic Four. I don't know where my brain was right there. Brain fart, sorry. Senior brain.
Happens to the best of us.
It's a daily thing for me.
All right. Do you have anything else on this first episode of Secret Invasion? Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. I forgot to take notes, so
shocked.
I know. I've been in a funk lately, so but yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I mean, it didn't knock
a decent
my socks
start.
off. Yeah, it was a decent start. So, we got 5 more to go and see where that lands us.
And really, there wasn't a whole lot of, like you said, there wasn't a whole lot of pew pew pew. There was the chase with Martin Freeman at the very beginning, and then at the very end when the bombs went off.
Yeah, there's a couple of fist fights here and there. So.
Oh yeah, because they fought the artist, the guy that built the bomb, and Talos. They were making fun of Talos for being old and blah blah blah, and
he got his ass kicked.
He did, but I think because Fury even said your weakness is you are merciful, so you don't want to kill anybody, and that's how they're going to exploit it with you. So, anyway, okay. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Shameless self-promotions. You got anything?
Thursday, Star Wars Cantina Happy Hour. We will be discussing episode 2 of The Mandalorian season 1. In case you don't know, we are going back and doing season 1 and 2 because our show didn't start until Boba Fett. So we never got a chance to cover those first 2 seasons of Mando. And since we've got a ways till Ahsoka, we decided to go back and do those. So Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern.
That's all on the Geek News. Okay, we got to plug this. So the Geek News Now YouTube page is moving. We are now moving to, correct me if I'm wrong, Debbie, it's Geek News Now Official.
Yes.
So go do a search on YouTube and find Geek News Now Official, and then subscribe to that one because the other page is going to go away eventually. I'm sure.
Yeah, we've had some technical difficulties that I don't know, YouTube not letting us fix or whatever. So we just decided to start anew.
So, also on that note, if you're watching this, make sure if you're watching this right now, make sure you're on the Geek News Now Official, because we are broadcasting to both until the transition actually happens, so we get a smooth transition. So if you're watching now, if you're watching sometime in the next couple of days, go over to Geek News Now Official, slam that like and subscribe button. All the stuff all those people online say. Smash the like and subscribe and drop a comment if you want to. Whatever. Yeah, you don't have to. We don't care. Whatever. So Thursday night, yes. What about Federation Fridays? We doing Federation Fridays? Maybe.
I do not know. Biscardi, are you still on?
John, if you're still there, is y'all going on Friday?
I
John
don't
Dis-
think he likes Strange New World, so I think that's out. But I don't know if we're going to continue on with the because we were going to start doing the original series, but he had some health issues, so I don't know if that's been put off or what.
So for those of you that don't know, John Biscardi is the host of the Geek and I podcast, who's been here commenting on our stuff. So yes, John Biscardi, go check him out. Usually he's on Friday nights. They do Federation Fridays. They talk about cool Star Trek stuff.
Star Trek.
You'll have Saturday nights. You'll have the Geek Gauntlet, and that happens Saturday night. And boy, howdy! I listened to the Geek Gauntlet last week. Did you listen to it at all for Saturday? Oh yeah, Secret Invasion review. Dadgummit. Secret Invasion. We're talking about Secret Invasion. Oh, all right. Y'all go ahead and talk about Secret Invasion because we're going to talk about it too. Huh?
Now, did they like it, or were they kind of divided, or did they hate it?
Yeah, it's just kind of. I don't know. It's sometimes with those guys, it's like they like everything just because. And sometimes I think I'm that way too. You know, it's just like I like it just because. I like it because it is geeky. Or now that does not hold true for Star Wars Resistance or the holiday special, but we have to watch it because it's Star Wars, but that doesn't mean we have to like it.
Yeah, I've been accused of, oh, you like everything. Well, you know what? Marvel, DC, Star Wars, I don't know. There's a bunch of other fandoms I like. Yeah, I do enjoy watching that stuff. Do I love all of that stuff? Not necessarily, but I still watch it because
I enjoy it. It's fun.
I do. I enjoy it. Some stuff I like more than others. Resistance. Or that would be
less than others. Yeah.
Yeah, less than others.
No, she
Yeah.
doesn't like Resistance. Don't
Yeah,
get the wrong idea.
do not ever ask me to watch that show again. No,
Now,
never.
I will say this. I was approached the other day and they said, "Oh, David, you do a Marvel show and you're doing a Star Wars show. You must watch Doctor Who all the time because I just saw this great episode the other day." And I'm like, never seen Doctor Who. Never even seen it.
Start it, but I don't know where to start because I mean,
yeah, it's all over the place.
Well, it started back in the 60s. And so I'm like, where do you start? Can you watch it from the very beginning or does it matter? Can you just start anywhere? I've been told, let's see, to either start right before Matt Smith. I'm not sure who comes Smith. I don't know who comes first, Matt Smith or David Tennant. But I've been told to start in there somewhere, which I don't know. I think they're the 10th Doctor, maybe. I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know diddly squat.
Yeah,
but, yeah, I would like to start watching it, but I just don't know where because they're on their 15th, 16th Doctor, and it's been on since the 60s, and I don't even know if you can find all those old episodes, and I would probably die before I could even get caught up.
Yes.
So if there's any Who fans, Whovians out there, I'd like to know where to start.
The Whovians from Whoville?
No, just we call themselves Whovians, right? Isn't that right? Whovians?
I think that is right.
Okay.
I think that's.
If that's not, I did not mean to.
That's the proper vernacular.
Okay.
So anyway, Saturday night Geek Gauntlet podcast, Geek News Now official is the Facebook or is the YouTube page. Also check us out on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and Instagram and
wherever.
You know, all that kind of fun stuff. And watch out for Chewie.
Yeah, Chewie's making her tail appearance.
Yeah. So we will be back next week. We're going to be talking about episode 2, which airs day after tomorrow. And we're all kinds of excited about that. And then Luke goes to camp, and he's going to miss episodes like 3 and 4. So I get to watch them before you do. Ha 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 ha.
That's just mean.
I know you're watching. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, all right. You guys have a great rest of your week. Enjoy yourselves. We will see you all
Thursday.
Next Thursday. Oh yeah, we'll see you all Thursday night.
Yeah, if you're watching the Star Wars show, we'll see you.
Come watch the Star Wars show on Thursday, and we'll see you then. If not, we'll see you next Monday for MCU Mondays. We'll see y'all all next time.